Can
Hey
you
man,
hear me?
what's up? Yeah, I can. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good as well, man. Have you managed to play any games today?
Yeah, I did actually. I played with Pavel some training sessions, so I
Nice,
feel ready.
nice, cool. Did you win?
Yeah, quite often.
Nice. How do you pronounce your first name, by the way?
Karel.
It's just cut out. All right. It's like
Yeah,
Pavel. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
the same
it's the same.
pronunciation. Nice, cool. Have you ever had any kind of coaching before?
Nope, never. This is my first coaching session, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, should be fun. Should be fun. Yeah. So I just explained it real quick on stream as well. Basically, if I understand correctly, you're like a group of friends that have been gifting coaching sessions to each other for like
Yeah,
birthdays.
right. Yeah, I started it like a year ago
Mm-hmm.
for Pavel's birthday, and then we just continued with PHX together. And yeah, then it just backfired at me, and now they both bought me a coaching session as well. So
Yeah. So for anyone wondering,
yeah,
we're gonna be doing three in total. Basically today and then the next 2 weeks as well.
yep.
As far as I'm aware, yeah, should be good. So we should have time to do all three matchups. Usually that's the easiest way of doing things. So like we do one ZVZ, one ZVT, one ZVP.
Right, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, and you're currently in Gold League, right? Now, I don't think I have
Yeah.
you added as a friend at the moment. But
Oh, let me.
if you could join the group real quick, that'd be good. It's zero tone, right?
Yeah, it's 0 down.
Yeah, I remember you helping out a couple games, I believe, versus PHX, right?
Yeah, I think.
A little while ago. By the way, guys, can you hear him just fine? If the microphone like of me is low or loud or whatever, please let me know so I can balance them because I can't hear them myself. And also, we'll probably need some people to play against in a little bit too. So yeah, just let me know. Just let me know how things sound. But if you want
So I
to,
should be in the LowkoTV channel.
okay, nice. All right, there we go. PGRF.
Yep.
What does it stand for? Like I don't. It's not giving me the description, man.
Yeah, we didn't put any in. It's actually an inside joke, so it's hard to explain.
All right. We're currently Gold League or rank 49, 10 in 14. Yeah, so if you guys want to help out, it's group locals if you're on a European server. I don't know exactly what we're going to be doing yet, so yeah, just if you want to help out and you're roughly around Gold League and you want to help, that's cool. Alrighty, so is there any like matchup in particular that you feel like you're struggling with more than the others?
Yeah, I struggle pretty much against Terran because they're siege drops and this kind of stuff. I'm really weak against that.
All right, all right. Right. Okay. So, yeah. In general, like we usually just get started with like the weakest matchup and then go into the stronger ones and whatnot a little bit later. Just to sort of like keep progress on it. So I actually have some stats to compare it against. Yeah. So like in the older games that you've played in Legacy of the Void so far, it's also your Zerg versus Terran that's actually like statistically the lowest.
It is, yeah. I actually haven't played many Zergs in the ladder. For some reason, I just get Protoss and Terran players. I played just one Zerg, and I played him with him twice, so I have two Zerg matches.
Uh-huh.
But all the others were Protoss or Terran. I really don't know why.
Yeah,
So
I
I
seem
just
to
played
get a lot
Zerg.
more ZVZ. I don't really know
Yeah.
how it works. Like sometimes they seem to have like periods of that where or I get a ZVZ and like the same maps over and over and over again, and then sometimes it just balances out. I don't really know
All right.
what they do with it. Right. So I see you've been playing since Heart of the Swarm actually, since early Heart of the Swarm. Cool.
Yeah, been a long time.
Yeah.
I played Brood War as well.
Oh, all right, all right. You didn't play Wings of Liberty then?
Actually, not. I played Brood War and then switched to Harvest, to HOTS, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So you started off in Bronze League and now you're slowly but surely climbing.
Yeah, very slowly.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You're currently, high plats in the 3v3 and then in 2v2s as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any like particular goal, what you really want to try and get out of this, or like any league you want to achieve, or.
Actually, Platinum would be fine, but in 2 months I'm going to Hong Kong, and there are going to be some Korean students coming to a summer school there, and I really want to kick some Korean asses, so that's my goal.
Nice. All right, kick Korean students. Asses in summer. All right. Well, that's a legit goal. That's something I haven't heard before though. That's that's new. Alrighty. Yeah. So I think considering we're currently ranked, like we're somewhere in the middle of Gold League, it's probably possible to get somewhere at like high gold or like maybe Platinum League. Kind of depends on how many games you obviously manage to play.
Cool.
But we'll see. So yeah, I suggest we just get started down with Zerg vs Terran and go from there.
Great.
I don't know if you by any chance have a game of Zerg vs Terran that you played today. Just like a random. Yeah, that'd be cool if you can like have a look at that.
I do. I mean, it's kind of representative of what I play against Terran and how I lose. So let me find it real quick.
Sure. I just gave you the party lead, so if you can host it up, that'd be great.
Oh, cool. Replays.
Oh man, we even have already an opponent to play against. Damn, things are smooth today. Cool. Alright, if you could toss like in-game the lobby host back to me, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
The Scourge with a typo in the nickname. That hurts. I don't know.
Should be lobby host.
Yeah, there we go. No, but I mean your opponent's name. Your opponent's name is Discourage without the O.
Oh, this is discouraging.
That's a good goal though, to kick Korean students' asses in the summer.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Oh man, Invader Alley. I really dislike this map. Well, for obvious reasons, mainly just because you can't take a third, which is
exactly
not really what I like.
And he was using all the cliffs to put siege tanks up on them, and he just destroyed me basically.
All right. So, what is at the moment like your go-to strategy? Do you have like one build you go for, or like one strategy you execute?
Yeah, basically one build. I just take 14 hatch and then go like 17 pool with gas and make some speed links to gain some map control. And then versus Terran Protoss, I switch to roaches and ravagers, and then move on to lurkers if I get that far.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like switching. I like focusing on roach ravager play in general. I think it's probably you can play several builds or like several unit compositions Zerg vs Terran, but I think roach ravager is like the correct one to go for almost every time. Just because if you play like with Mutalisk on Zerglings and Banelings and stuff, there's a lot of control, and the control is really difficult. Whereas with like, you know, roach ravager is mostly a move.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like this combo.
Okay.
I don't have the APM to micro mutas and Banes and Links.
Yeah, it's really hard. In particular because they like sped up the creep spread and stuff, so you have to like be on top of so many things.
Yeah.
It's hard to do everything at once. Yeah, so I think roach ravager is good. We'll look at like some things to optimize then and see if there's any kinds of you know, improvements that you can make.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I would pretty much always, like as a minor thing, I suppose, I would pretty much always, and that is for all matchups, as soon as you have Zergling, or like as soon as the spawning pool is done, just make like 1 or 2 sets of Zerglings, just so you don't have to deal with this sort of stuff.
Okay.
With that many things. It's just like a solid habit to get into, so like, whenever the pool finishes, and that goes for every game, like, make a few links. Although you dealt with it really well in this one, it's like a good basis.
Right. I use queens usually to defend against these kind of like Reaper plays and stuff. But they are links.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, cool. So I gotta say, I love the map control. That's really good. Like most of the gold level Zergs have all of their army. Oh, Beastie Cutie, thank you very much for the host. Welcome to the 350 viewers from Beastie Cutie. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. For anyone wondering that's just tuning in from Beastie Cutie stream, we're doing some coaching right now. This is the first session that we're doing, so it should be fun. We're just jumping into it, so you joined at the perfect time. This is gonna be some ZVT. But anyways, yeah, so I gotta say, like, your map vision with Zerglings is really good. Most of the gold level people I coach is, like, they have all of their army, like, sitting right there. I don't know if you can see my pings, by the way, but...
yeah, I can.
Yeah, like basically all of the armies just sitting at home. So I really like the fact that you actually took map control. That's really nice. One of the first things I did want to point out is the timing of the gases. So I don't know if you plan on mining from these just yet.
Probably not. It was probably just supply blocks, so I just built them to have some supply.
Right. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, as like a general rule, I suppose, though, with like getting the gas geysers, just make sure you have full saturational minerals before you start adding on the gas geysers. So like,
Okay.
so look for like maybe that's like with your fourth base or your third base or whatever. You're like, well, when should I get the gases? Just get them right when you hit full saturational minerals, and then add on the extractors. So
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah, basically full saturational minerals first, then add gas. Because if you mine from it right now, you're obviously gonna have way too many things. Now, one of the things you might want to look out for as well is like general unit timing. So you get a lot of units right now already early on in the game. But obviously when you're making this many units, there's not gonna be very many workers to back it up, right? So in general, like whenever you make any units, you gotta be a little careful about how many you're making. Because I think, like for example, defending right here, right? You would have been able to do that with 3 roaches rather than like 8.
That's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do like the transition you're going for with like the +1/+1 and the roach speed. But whenever you make units, just ask yourself if you actually need those right now, or if you would rather be getting away with drones. Because the main goal that you're trying to achieve when you play Zerg is just get as many workers as possible and then transition towards the units that you want to make, right? So ideally, like you make all the drones first, and then you add on the units that you make. Now, obviously, you can't just blindly make units, so I think making a couple of Zerglings and a couple of roaches is fine. But if you make like 10 roaches and then a whole bunch of like Zerglings as well, it's a little too much. But we can go like a little bit more in depth about that if you want to.
Yeah, that's my problem. I never know when to build drones or when to build an army, because I saw the drop and I thought he will be pushing, so I just built some more roaches, and then I had no use for them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good problem to have, to be honest. Like, macro-wise, things seem to be pretty good. You're spending heavily, so that's fine. And then your unit compositions are good too. We can definitely work on that.
Yeah. And now I got some bad trades, I think, and the game was over.
Right.
So yeah, that is the undefendable threat.
Right. Yeah. And I think it all comes down to just having a little bit too much army initially and not having enough economy to really support like a big army.
I see.
So like the drone timings are really kind of, important, I suppose. So basically the build that you're running here is it's basically something Solar used to do a lot. I don't know if you watch a lot of professional StarCraft.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I can go ahead and copy paste to you the build order that he uses if you want to. But
that would be cool, yeah.
Yeah, but basically he focuses on like a Roach Ravager timing too, and he has like some very specific amounts of units that he makes to be super safe. I'll just copy paste, like I got that little Word document open here. I'll just copy paste the build order into it, so you can have a look at that later on, and we can maybe play through it a little bit.
Cool, that's fantastic.
Yeah, but basically he's got 3 unit timings, so like 3 moments where he actually makes army. So the very first one, like while obviously he's like defending, right, while in the early game, and in between he like only makes drones. So basically the first one is right when the spawning pool finishes, which is basically what we already went over.
Right.
Then right when Zergling speed finishes, which is about like 10-20 Zerglings or so, just for defense against Hellions and stuff. And then when the Roach Warren finishes, he makes about 3-4 roaches. So
just 3 or 4? Yep,
just 3 or 4. So that means that in between that and before and after that, he drones up actually 3 bases completely. And
right.
It sounds really greedy, and it is a little bit greedy, and maybe because obviously like we're not playing the best of the best Terrans in the world, you can make a couple more units. But as like a general rule of thumb, that's something, to keep in mind, right? Like the pro gamers are only getting, a couple of units here and there. So yeah. I'll just write it down for you as well. So once again, that's like spawning pool done, like 4 Zerglings. Spawning pool Zergling speed done. 16-20 links or so. Let's leave it at a little bit of a bigger number. and then roach warren done. Let's leave it at like 5 roaches, okay?
Okay. And do you use the links for some attacking or just for defense?
Yeah, if you can attack with them, it is okay, but don't sacrifice them. Because if you sacrifice those 16 Zerglings or 20 Zerglings, it's basically like losing like 8 to 10 drones, right? Because they could have been drones. Yeah. So like try and think of like, you know, attacking with Zerglings and stuff as terms of like economy. So if you can pick off like an SCV or something, or you can like take out a small group of Hellions, it's totally worth it. But don't just like suicide them in over there and then lose the amount of stuff, right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think what's probably easiest, so we have a bit of a rule of thumb to work from, is just to play in a custom game real quick and just go over the general strategy and just give it a try and see how much supply you can get at right when roach speed finishes up, okay? So basically we're gonna try and optimize the same build that you're doing right now, just you know, with like a more optimized version of it and see how much supply you can get.
Okay, great.
And then afterwards, like if it goes well, we can just jump into a game against a real opponent and go from there.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you were watching the stream just now.
I am watching it, but without any sound because it's lagging like 15 seconds behind.
Yeah,
so
yeah. No, I meant like the last game that I played on stream before this one.
I had it just on the second screen and I didn't pay that much attention.
Alright, yeah. But basically, I did that exact build. Right, the nice thing about it is that you can do it on pretty much all maps, and like on all scenarios. And like there's like a lot of variations from it, and there's like a lot of different strategies. But the basic idea of it is to basically get small army, drone up 3 bases, then make a lot of stuff and push when upgrades finish. That's basically the idea.
Right. That's what I'm thriving for, but against Terran, especially when they turtle up or drop out, it just falls apart for me.
Yeah. I see the problem.
That build, that would be perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So just to clarify, like, oh,
you look like you need it. Winking face. Keep the good work going.
Lily
Always
Cutsy,
a pleasure to watch her stream.
Decided to donate €5. Basically scared me. Thank you very much, Lil Cutsy, for the €5 donation. He said, "You look like you need it." Oh well, that's not a good sign, is it? Yeah. But so just to clarify, you attack right when upgrades finish up, and with upgrades finishing up, I mean roach speed, +1 missile, and +1 armor.
Okay.
And we try and basically make sure that those finish up roughly around the same time.
So it's just a timing attack with these 3 upgrades and roaches and ravagers.
Exactly, yes. While trying to stay safe in the early game. And obviously, like in actual game, it will be a little more difficult because, you know, the Terran is gonna attack and like annoying things like that.
yeah, they do that.
But like as a general rule of thumb, like you shouldn't be thrown off too much because we're making blind units, which should be allowing you to defend against all the different kinds of aggression.
I see. Okay.
Genius, thank you for the resub, dude. Appreciate that. We're getting a lot of support all of a sudden while streaming, man. Like, anyway, any map you prefer playing on? Any map you want to give a try?
Dusk Towers.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good practice map right now because there's no like sneaky gold bases and weird third bases and stuff. Alrighty. Do you want me to display the build once, or do you want me to just talk you through it right away? It's up to you.
If you can talk me through, it'll get better to my brain and memory.
Cool. Alrighty. We'll do a very easy Terran. I'm sure you can do this. Okay. Yeah, so we are going to play a little bit greedier as well at the third base, just to give it a try and see how you feel comfortable with it. If you like, you know, really don't like it, we can obviously change that out as well. But let's just start off with the like most legit version of it, so I suppose.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just open up hatch gas pool, just like you did already in the previous one. And we can also pause whenever we need, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, for the very easy AI always attacks with 1 Marauder and 1 Marine at like 6 minutes, I believe. So you gotta watch out for that. Like, it's a really scary timing. The 1 Marauder, 1 Marine timing. 6 minutes. You'll see him come.
I hope I have some roaches by then.
We'll be fine. Okay, so we do want to get 4 queens as soon as possible, just to be safe as well.
Okay, I usually make this 2.
Yeah, 4 is a little bit nicer because you can defend against all the stuff. Like basically, queens are like defending everything early game. Like Terran cannot counter queens at all early game.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they counter Liberator, they counter Hellion, they counter Marines, like they counter everything. Well, Marines before Stimpak and stuff. So I like getting more queens. Like if you've never tried it, you can also try and go like 10 queens and just see how it plays out. you'll start valuing queens a little bit more. But anyways, let's make the like basically you just want to get the 4 queens as soon as possible, and exactly like the 2 to 4 links right now. Yep. And what I mean with like getting the link or like the queens as soon as possible, just like, you know, basically make the 3rd and 4th queen right when the 2nd and the 1st one finish up.
Okay.
And then in between, like we don't really need the Roach Warren yet. Let's just not get that one just yet. Yeah, we'll get that a little later. But let's just drone up for the moment. I'll just talk you through the build next time.
I usually build the Roach Warren right away because, especially in ZVZ, when they build banelings and stuff, it's easier to defend. But yeah, against Terran.
Yeah, we don't really need it that quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's add on the 3rd and the 4th queen as well. Another Overlord. Okay, so let's start up that queen and then the Overlord too. Cool. All right, now if you have leftover, like if you hit a little supply block, you can definitely make those evolution chambers, or not the evolution chambers. Sorry, the gas geysers.
Gases.
Yeah. Just to like get the unit out a little bit faster. All right. So before we add on the Roach Warren, you want to make sure you add on the 3rd base.
3rd base. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we go for the 3rd base first.
3 bases before Roach Warren.
Yep. Yep. So like basically we try and get the economy we need to get 3 bases up, and then like off of 3 bases you can comfortably make units. So notice like I don't know if you noticed it just now, but right by the timing you want to be taking the 3rd base. It is actually right when Zergling speed finishes up. So I don't know if you have the sound on or whatever, you heard like upgrade finished up.
Yeah.
It just finishes. Yeah. So usually like the 4 Zerglings you make early on, you can use those to sort of like guide the drone towards the 3rd base. And and then as a follow-up, you make that big round of Zerglings that we talked about.
About 20 Zerglings, right.
Yeah, so basically when Zergling speed finishes, you make the 3rd base, and then you also add on that big round of Zerglings.
Okay.
And with a big round, like, I don't know, like, if you want to get real specifics, I guess it's like 10 to 20 links. Yeah, the pros make it decide on the map they play. I wouldn't worry too much about it from that part. just okay. 10 to 20 links is fine. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. All right, so let's make that big round of Zerglings now that we got the 3rd base. Cool. All right. And from here on out, we just drone up, okay? So we just drone up until we have the natural on full saturation on minerals. So just rally everything to the natural. Well, I guess that other natural. And just like fully drone that one up. There we go. Okay. So when you have the full saturation in the natural is when we like make the next set of units and the next set of buildings.
Okay.
Okay. So that's basically that done. Now the next timing that you take is the Roach Warren.
Which is right about now.
Yep. So basically right when you hit enough drones for that natural. And that is also when you can go ahead and saturate the gases in the natural and take the gases. And take the lair. Yep. So in between, we're just making drones, right?
Yep.
So it may feel a little greedy, but we got plenty units to defend against everything. Now we do need to make a couple overlords. Yeah, good. So remember, when the Roach Warren finishes, that's when you make the next set of units. And also, by the way, we do want to make the double evo. Sorry, I forgot about those.
Yeah, it's probably upgrades, right?
Yep. So when the Roach Warren finishes is when you make the couple of roaches. So let's make like 5. Okay. And off of that, you just want to get the 3 bases fully saturated, and that's it. Very good. So notice, like, those will upgrades, like those 3 will roughly finish at the same time now. So before you start making before you start making army, just double check if you've got all the workers that you want on 3 bases. Just make sure to keep on making the overlords as well. Oh, here's the one Marine Marauder timing. Oh, actually one SUV. They are changing up their builds. But yeah, before making army, just double check if you've got all the bases saturated, if you've got all the gases going.
Should I build gases?
Yeah, we go 6 gas. Yep.
Okay.
And then you can start making non-stop army. Very good.
Yeah, this feels really unsafe to me because usually by now I'm dead with the Terrans. So.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can find a Terran to do some aggressive builds. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine why you have that feeling though. Like if you always feel like you're under pressure from all kinds of sources,
yeah.
it's like the scary part, obviously. Cool. I will just push out. Yeah, right when these finish. SK Last, thank you for the subscription, man. Welcome to the family. Appreciate that. Okay. So let's just get to his side of the map, and that is sort of like at 8 minutes and 30. I'll just go ahead and pause the game for a second so we can see how much supply you reached. Okay, well, fine. Right here then. Okay. So first attempt, 8:30, we have reached 164 supply. So just to give you an indication, if you play it perfectly and you do everything perfectly, you should be maxed out at 8 minutes and 15 seconds, 8 minutes, 20 seconds. So to be fair, you're actually not that far off. Like basically the last 30 supply takes like 20 seconds max. So for a first attempt, this actually looks really, really solid. Yeah, I don't know if you feel like super unsafe during the early part of the game.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I should move the queens to the natural to better defend or something. But yeah.
Yeah.
I feel when they come with one medevac, some marines, and a siege tank, that I would have really hard time microing against that.
Yep.
The queens and the links.
Yep. Yeah, I'll go ahead and like try and explain it in a little bit, alright? But just finish them off, I guess, for now. Otherwise, your match history looks bad, but. Yeah, just attack move, you're fine. But if you manage to do this against, like, you know, That's his army. If you manage to do this against like most gold level players, there's no way they would be able to hold it. Yeah, obviously, like there's definitely still some improvement we can do in this regard. And if you do it a couple more times, I think, versus no opponent, you would be in a much better spot. But
yeah, I'll practice this, definitely.
yeah. He doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, as like a general, yeah, we win. As like a general point, like a general point, I suppose, right? You should be safe against all the aggression that they have. Now, obviously, if you see them move out with a lot of stuff, you still want to make units, right? Like that's obviously one of the things you do want to do. Like if you see them move out, let's say with that like build they were going for in the previous game, like your previous opponent, where he was like, I don't know, with like 3 medevacs and a bunch of siege tanks. You do want to make sure that you're actually having enough units to defend against that. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, one really important thing to have, and I didn't really check the minimap here, but always have like something scouting their front base. So like you were doing in the replay was really good because it gives you a lot of time to respond against all this stuff. And on pretty much all of the maps, if you scout them move out, say right here, like right here. Okay, see the ping still?
No.
Yeah,
Let me
if
check the stream.
Yeah, you gotta click everyone. Like if you camera on 1 or 2, it doesn't work. If you hit E, it does, I think.
Oh.
So
See that?
E?
Yeah, if you hit E, you can probably
Yeah,
see.
yeah, now I see it. Yeah, thank you.
Battle.net, yay. But basically, if you see units move out right there, with the Zergling, you actually have time to make roaches still at home. So like, by the time the army moves across the map, your roaches will be done.
All right. That's
So
cool.
yeah, it's on all maps right now. So as long as you are like aware of them moving out, you're in a good spot, right? So having a Ling or Overlord vision like at every point in the map is really crucial. So like for example, like you have with these Lings, that's great. That's actually really important. Now say like you lose those. Like, say you lose this one Zergling over there, or that Overlord or whatever, and you don't have something spotting again, just immediately replace it. Like, if you need to make extra units for that, obviously totally fine. You just need to really, yeah, like, really focus on being defensive there and having, like, vision of the map. Because obviously, like, if you see, like, a big siege tank army marching across, you can just make a lot of roaches, or, like, a lot of roaches and Lings here, too. I guess the second tip for being a little more defensive that may help you out against drops and liberators and stuff. And I know this is not something everyone likes to do, but I personally really like doing it just because it makes me feel safer. Is just to have the Queen's hotkey.
Right. Yeah, I always forget that.
Yeah, like maybe it's not something you feel comfortable with, but it's something you might want to consider. Queen's hotkey together. In this case, I would have all of the 4 queens just all together, just like all on one hotkey.
Okay.
So let's say one drop happens right there. You just hit like 4 and attack move up there and you're fine. And then obviously like you gotta make sure, like I noticed in this game you hit a couple supply blocks. I didn't check for that in the replay, but could just be that you're like playing in front of a couple more people than you used to.
I'm hitting supply blocks quite often actually, so yeah, that's something I need to improve upon as well.
Okay, yeah. As like a good rule that I like to keep, make overlords depending on the amount of queens you have injecting. And that's like a pretty easy way to try and keep that in mind. So notice like right now you're making 1 overlord, but you have 2 queens injecting.
So I should be building 2?
Yeah, make 2 at a time. And if you have the 3 bases, make 3 overlords at a time.
I see. Yeah, it's a good rule.
Yeah, it's like an easier way of staying alive. And I know like I'm dumping a lot of knowledge here. I'm hoping that it's not gonna like overload in the amount of information. But
no, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I really like these tips because yeah, it's what makes the difference. Because I don't know when to build drones, when to build overlords and stuff. So these rules actually help me a lot with the build. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, nice. All right, yeah. So make overlords depending on the amount of queens that are injecting. So like the reason for that is sometimes you will have a little bit too many queens. You're like, well, shit, do I really need to make another 3? But like, if they're moving out across the map and you're supply blocked and you die because you're supply blocked, it's the worst feeling in the world, right? So it's better to have like 20 supply over than to be supply blocked, in my opinion. In particular, like anywhere below, like, I don't know, Master League or so, I think it's much better to have some oversupply than to be supply blocked. So just try and keep that in mind. Yeah, just make a couple more Overlords.
Especially against Terran, because they snipe Overlords with Marines and Vikings and stuff.
Yeah, if he would move out right now and he would snipe this Overlord, it would be impossible to hold, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that should probably help out quite a bit. So yeah, Zergling at the front. Queen's hotkey together if you want to mess around with that. And then also having a couple more Overlords will be really easy. So say like you see them move out right now. I don't think like... Honestly, at this point, the worst they can have is like 2 Reapers and 4 Hellions, I think, at the most. And your Queens and Zerglings are plenty to do against that.
Okay.
So I don't know if you ever like, you know, lose to like Mass Hellion play or whatever.
No, actually not. I define it with roaches because I usually have them like really quick. I just build roach run right after the spawning pool and then make like 4 or 5 roaches right away. So.
Right.
And try to do some damage with them. So usually Hellion play is not something I die to. But when they come with Marine, Siege, and Medivac, it's especially the Siege tanks in the back and the micro with the Medivacs and dropping them off.
Yeah, I think
stuff. Yeah.
I think that's just due to not having enough army at that point. Like,
yeah,
it comes down to just having enough units initially, right? Because you should. In the game as well, like the replay, like you should have been like 30, 40, 50 supply up on the Terran, and we were like even. And that's probably because you're sort of in the habit of like making a few units and then making a couple of drones and then making a few units and a couple of drones. And obviously, like, if drones are mining longer, they will be getting more resources, right? So I think we can deal with those. Cool. Do you have any issues against like Liberator play or whatever?
Liberator play is quite okay because they have to siege them, so I can snipe them with Ravagers or Queens or just make some static defense. So
yeah,
those are usually fine, except for mass Liberator and these kind of end game or late game shenanigans. But yeah.
They're getting nerfed. They're getting nerfed. It's fine.
Really?
just make Corruptor.
So, yeah, you don't have to talk about that then.
Yeah. I have some games where they literally get like 40 Liberators and there's jack shit I can do. It's like, wow, what do I do? Like, I can't kill them in air. I can't kill them in ground. Like
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're getting basically they're nerfing the anti-air damage they can do. So you can just make Corruptor and you'll be fine. But yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But anyway, like that's what I wanted to point out. Like the timing on all these units and stuff, like for example the timing on these Zerglings, they line up right when the Hellions push out, and like the first Zerglings line up right when the Reaper moves out, and the timing on the Roachborn, it basically is right at the timing where they would go for like a Stimpack timing attack or when they would go for Liberator play. So like, it's not that these buildings are in a random moment, they sort of line up with the different kinds of aggression. So like these 5 roaches you just finished up, you can morph those into Ravagers if you need to, because the first Liberator would be here roughly around right now.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's sort of like the smart trick, I guess, behind it. That's why we copy pro gamers, just because they figure that sort of stuff out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's also good to know what actually lies behind that. You know, I often copy some tricks from them, but I don't really know why I copy them. So it's more like a cargo cult.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, you make the initial, so like this big batch of Zerglings you make are just in case of like, you know, 4 Hellions getting across the map. And if you're really good, like you can micro them more as well and try some damage with them. I wouldn't focus on it for too much. But these Zerglings, for example, line up perfectly with the Reaper aggression and stuff. Like that's the thought process. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. I can definitely answer those. Like there may be some things that take as a granted, but I may not.
Yeah.
I may not really be very clear about it.
I like that the build is really built against the common Terran builds. That's cool because I usually just have one link in front of their base, and I just build units depending on what I see. If they build Hellions, I just build some roaches, and if they build Banshees, I make some static D and Queens. So yeah, knowing that this build basically counters all the common builds is really cool and makes me feel safer.
Nice. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal, really. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, as far as, like, the other common build, I guess, I don't know if you see it a lot on Gold League, but one of the other ones they go for a lot is, like, Hellbat aggression. Like, they go, like, Marine
not that
Hellbat.
much. I've seen it once or twice, but...
Yeah, those kind of things, like, that's where you need to pull the queens as well. For like, defensive stuff. Like, having queens as well. So let's say, like, you're under pressure right now, right? And he's attacking you and you're flooding minerals. Just pull all the queens and just hit hotkey 5 and just... I don't know what hotkey setup you're using, but just queue up 3 queens again.
Okay, yeah.
Just use them for fighting and just keep on queuing them up. They're like honestly the best tool for early game defense. Also because they don't take any larvae, so that means you can make more workers. Like queens are really nice for defending. But yeah, let's see if we can find an opponent, okay, and just play against them. See how things go. Okay. Any mid-level gold-ish. Ideally, we start a little bit lower and then slowly but surely we work our way up. Ursus. Terran.
Right.
We do need a Terran, by the way. Mid-level. Oh, Powerful is spamming me. I guess. Please be a Terran player, Powerful. You are a Terran player and you're mid gold. Nice. Could you drop me the party? Hey, wait, I can't invite you into the... I can't inf you. Sometimes Battle.net is being Battle.net, but I can't invite him into a party.
Would it be because I was timing out during that first game?
I don't know. Let me remake the party real quick, see if that does anything. Okay. Yeah, I can't invite Pyro... Sometimes Battle.net is so silly. Zero tone. Now it does work. Oh no, he was in a party. He just left at the same time.
Oh, I see.
I like how it doesn't give me an error of like is already in a party. It just straight up doesn't allow. Yeah, by the way, if people in the stream have any kind of like major questions, go ahead and let me know if you have like anything you're wondering about as well. Because there probably is a lot of things that I'm, you know, forgetting or leaving out. Yeah, so I basically copy pasted the exact build that Solar uses in the document, and then I added more of like a simplified version of it as well to hopefully make it like not like you basically when you do a build, you don't want to be like at 14 supply do exactly this and this and that. It's like more like no, make a hatch, then a gas, then a pool, and hopefully that makes a little bit more sense that way. Any build you want to practice again in particular? Okay, that works. Whatever you feel like. Nice. Cool. So that basically means we need to be, you know... Lowko, I got a question. How many teeth does a Zergling have? I don't know. How many teeth?
Depends if he has adrenal glands or not.
Do they get more teeth with adrenal glands? I think that's like...
Yeah.
Do they?
They should. They have more damage, right?
Yeah, but isn't that because of the adrenal glands being overloaded?
Maybe.
I don't know. Oh, your opponent is nervous. You got this. You got this. Oh shit, I need to probably drag and drop myself down. Cool. Alright. So we don't know what he's doing. He's roughly around the same level. You could have met him on the ladder. We'll see. I think Zerglings lick things, they don't bite. I'm not sure about that.
They do that in cardboard animations.
Yeah, exactly. They just lick things to death. They're basically just dogs. Alrighty, so I'll watch the entire game through your vision as well. That's all I know. For this one, I'll just go ahead and talk you through it as well. Yeah, so don't worry too much about it. Just try and keep the macro under control. Yeah, so once again, we'll open up with hatch gas pool. Someone in the chat is asking, is this ZVT only? Yeah, I would not recommend going it for Zerg vs Protoss or Zerg vs Zerg, but you can do something pretty similar. We'll go over like similar things in the next coaching sessions too, but this is specifically ZVT. Like basically the blind unit timings are for the Reaper and then the Hellions and all that sort of thing, so you don't really need to do those in ZVP. It works differently.
Yeah, are there any important changes for ZVP?
Yeah, it's mostly like unit timings. Like the build order is pretty similar, but things like adepts and stuff can be a lot more painful, and you need to like, you know, be a little bit more active with scouting in general.
And when I see a Cybercore and 4 gates, I usually know it's trouble.
Exactly. You can't just go 3-hatch against Cyber Negate or Cybercore Negate. By the way, one thing we do need to check with this build that I do want to point out is like we need to figure out if he's making a second base, right? Otherwise, obviously, he can do all kinds of one base all-ins. So try him with your first Overlord to get inside of his base, or at the very least, like check behind.
I'm flying right here, so I should see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to point that out though, because like blindly following a build is not a great strategy. And since we didn't ask him for anything, we don't know if he's actually going to do anything. Okay, so this is where you make the first sets of links. And then we drone up. Yep. So make sure to start Zergling speed 2, because that basically decides when we get the expansion. Okay, the next part is to get the 4 queens as soon as possible. Okay, nice, very good. You can pull this one to the natural already, like the one in the main base. Yeah, just make sure you replace it. Yeah, cool. So just make sure to check with your. Oh hey, what a nice queen.
I missed him. Yeah.
That's fine. You can make some Zerglings if you want to. Yeah. So notice like 2 overloads at a time.
I can. I'm supply block, but yeah. Right.
Yeah, we'll make the third base right in the red right now, and if you make a couple Zerglings as well, I think we're gonna be fine. Yep. Okay. I just bring the drone to the third. Maybe he's not blocking it. So try and check with your Overlord whether or not he's actually expended, because we don't know. We really do need to try and see if we can figure that out. Yeah. Okay. And these are all the links we're gonna make though. Like no more than this.
Okay, yeah, the base.
Okay, good. Seems a little bit late, but all good. Let's get the third base. Cool. So when we get that, just also go ahead and get the full saturation in a natural, and that's when we get the next set of buildings. So we need to make a lot of drones next. Now, top priority here is to keep on making workers. If you have the timing for it, yeah, exactly. Just use some Zerglings.
Hellions,
yeah. If you want to engage Hellions, you can either set up an engagement like that, exactly, or you leave them on creep. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't follow them too far. Oh, okay, fine. I'm not saying anything.
Die.
Keep on macroing, though. Keep the macro up. Just while you're looking at this. Exactly. Good. That's a really big pickup. Okay, so when we get the full saturation, that's when you get the next things. Yeah. Well, he really wants to die too, man. He wants to go to heaven. Nice. All right. So double check if we have the saturation now.
Yep.
Yep.
Almost.
Exactly. Lara, Roach Warren, Evo Chambers, and gas. Good. So keep on making 2 overloads at a time. So right now is maybe that's 4, but that works.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry.
Yep, and just keep on the droning now again. Okay. Very good. He's already looking way better than the previous good one. Yeah, so now you can rally just all bases there. Good. start the 1-1. Need a couple roaches here. Looks like we found out what he's making. Cool. And just drone up the 3 bases fully now. Oh, and the roach speed too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, make sure though, like when he moves across the map that we don't lose all the Zerglings. I don't see any hotkeys for him, so I don't know if you like, yeah, exactly. We gotta be very careful with losing those. If you lose them, that's very difficult to defend. In general, like if you don't know exactly where to put them, just, yeah, exactly. Like spread them out a little, but leave them closer to home so you can defend drops and stuff. All right. So a couple overlords, then go back to drone production. Very good. Queen injects, nice. Okay. Well, this lines up perfectly though. Like you're just done making full saturation. Just start making non-stop army. And you can morph some Ravages if you want to. Like your +1/+1 is like he's playing right into your hand right now. Like you got +1/+1 and Roach finishing up in a minute. Well, minute, 10 seconds. Okay. Yeah, don't forget the overload production. When you start making roaches, you definitely do need more. But here we go. We got so many units. Just wait a little bit. Just try and buy as much time as possible. Okay. Yeah, now we can go. Just grab all the things and the queens. Yeah, you can probably just corrosive vial those once you have the Ravagers. Yep. You know where to corrosive vial?
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
Just
attack, you got this. If you just grab all the things, you're fine. There we go. And just go ahead and counter attack too. So like, you can get a fort base here and do whatever you want. You can transition towards +2/+2 and go from there. Like there's a lot of different options you have. Most of the time though, this should be winning you the game right now if it goes perfectly. Yeah, okay. And just make sure to bring all the army and just try and go for the counter attack. Just put the rally point across the map. Oh.
Woo!
You really hated that roach in particular, right? Like
yeah, it was pissing me off. Oh, there's a mine there.
All good. Okay, so let's make the queens again because we seem to have lost quite a bit of them. We need to try and get those minerals down to 0. Like, we really want to try and see if we can get those as low as possible. So you can do that by making more overlords and just, oh well, or just killing him, that works.
Oh.
You're fine.
That was bad micro.
You can attack this, I think, but as long as the liberators aren't there. See, there's even one queen coming into the help. Alright, keep on the macro though. Like, don't look at the fight too much. Just keep on macro. Exactly. Like, if you're looking at the fight, just keep on the macro as well. Very good. Okay. So, let's try and see if we can get the income to 0. Like, all of the money to 0. Let's saturate the gas as well at the 3rd. That's why we have so many minerals. Let's get the money to 0 and then push out, okay? We want to get those down to 0 as soon as possible. So put all effort into trying to achieve that.
Okay. No, don't go to the brighter zones.
Yeah, suddenly macro slipped a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the early game was really well done, though. Like, early game, you basically didn't really miss a beat as far as macro goes, but then when attacking, all the queen injects and stuff went out of the window. That's fine, though. That's something we can quite easily work on. It's just mostly something to be aware of. It's like, hey, you know, when I'm fighting, I have a look, or I generally don't look at the macro anymore. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I imagine like you would have had those 4,000 minerals and gas and stuff in roaches.
Yeah,
like,
I had too big of a bank. Yeah.
That's fine though. Like we were trying to practice the build and the early game strategy and the timing and stuff. I think that went really well.
Yeah, it felt way more solid than my usual ZVP games. So yeah, it's definitely an improvement.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So let's just have a look at it real quick, from the observer point of view, I suppose. All good, all good, all good. Alrighty. Yeah, so did it feel as flimsy as it did in the first game? Like, he kinda muted the stream. What does that mean? Can you hear me still, by the way?
Yeah.
Alright, alright. I thought it was bugged out for a little bit.
No, it's okay. I'm just watching
The
chat and everything.
Oh, alright. I don't know what people are saying, man. Are they saying nice things? Yeah, in general, like that last game, like we lost that in the end because of the macro slip, but that's fine. Like, that's fine. So notice like your macro right now is fine. You're managing to do, like spend pretty much all your resources and stuff. As particular, like once we start producing roaches, we got a lot of larvae spent easily. But then right when excuse me, the attack happens and stuff, that's when we start struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like so far it's been really good. We'll have to stomp him back.
Yeah.
Wow, man! Wow, he's feeling the one. He's feeling the victory. Alrighty, yeah, yeah. So this is kind of like the first signs, I guess, of where you start slipping, right? So notice like we have a lot of larvae lying around, and like we're starting to miss queen injects.
I was too scared to attack the liberator zones and the mines. I probably should have just A-moved and macroed instead.
Yep, yep. I think so too, yeah. So, basically, I think you could have just gone in. I asked, by the way, whether or not you know where the corrosive bile like needs to land. I don't know if you've got that enabled, but it's something that's, I believe, disabled by default. Do you see those little lines below the liberator?
I do, yeah. I hit them.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I wasn't sure if you were actually aiming at those. Yeah, it helps out a lot.
Trying to, but not sure I hit them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could have just A-moved here. Like, you could have just pushed in. And just, like, while you're pushing in, just between the two liberators, just shoot the corrosive biles. Use the queens as well. And just get it over with. Like, right here, you're hovering a little. Yeah, I don't think it's really necessary. But, long story short, like, basically, if you're playing, try and always prioritize things like queen injects at the very top. So, like, if you would think about all the things you need to do as Zerg, in like a list of like priorities, you have things like micro and creep spread and those kind of things kind of be at the bottom, whereas things like queen injects and like spending the larva are at the very top. Does that make any sense? Like the logic in that?
Yeah, it does, but when I'm in the middle of the fight, it's hard to remember. But
Right,
I'll try to do that as much as I can.
Yeah, I'm just pointing it out, right? Like, just try and be aware of the fact, like, I don't know if anyone ever pointed it out, but generally speaking, like when you're in the fight, you seem to just focus on the fight and like tunnel vision pretty hard on it. That's fine. Like everyone has that, but yeah, just try and be aware of that. Like, oh shit, I'm looking at the fight. Let's actually spend resources.
Okay.
No worries. No worries, powerful. No man, no worries, man. I got your proud. No worries. Let's see if we can play another one. That's pretty much what everyone has at some point though, where they like, you know, look at the pretty fires and stuff, like explosions.
Yeah, the graphic is cool. So many artists working on that, so why not look at it, right?
Exactly. Are you an engineer as well?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. I was at Blizzard a couple days ago, or like last week, and like we basically were talking to this guy that does all the internal events, like basically he organizes all the trips for all the employees and stuff. And they had this like event for all the engineers that was like a 2-week long event or whatever from Blizzard. But he said like you gotta keep in mind like 70% of all of our staff is engineer, like here in Irvine. So basically like they have artists that everyone knows all of the artists, but apparently they have like 800 engineers or something working like just in that building. It's just crazy.
Right, yeah. The game wouldn't move without engineers.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
Just heads up so you can wreck me. Alright, this is what Powerful says. Yeah, they got a lot of engineers at Blizzard, guys.
Yeah, nobody sees the engineers while stuff is working, but when everything breaks, it's blaming the engineers, right?
Yeah. I can imagine. It's like, people are like, well, why don't you just fix this with the game? It's like, well, shit, like the game is not built. Like, you can't just change the entire system.
Exactly, yeah.
Loco, are you using 2 computers or one? Or one? No, I just use... Oh, are you asking if I'm streaming with 2 computers? I'm streaming with a 1 computer setup. I know you can stream with 2 computers, but it's way too much of a hassle. Some people do that. They have like one PC for gaming and one PC for like streaming. Like they connect them, but I don't know. Okay, let's wreck face this time. No pressure. But at least we know what he's going for. Yeah, I wouldn't be a great engineer. Not really my thing. I actually studied electrotechnique at some point, like at university, but all the hardcore math and stuff, I couldn't do it. It's not my thing.
It's not just the math.
Yeah, but all the like, you know, all the science and whatnot behind it, I didn't really like it too much.
I always loved engineering and programming, so yeah, it was just natural for me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Some people absolutely loved it though, like at that course as well. I just couldn't do it, man. Like it wasn't my thing. It's like one big puzzle, pretty much, right? Like engineering.
Exactly. Yeah. If you love solving puzzles, it's a no-brainer to go to engineering.
Yep. Okay. So let's just improve on what what we were already doing in the previous one. Go from there.
Okay.
So just 4 queens as soon as possible, and then a couple links too. And the link speed, I guess.
Just gonna have the money for that.
Yep. There we go. At least you got the chat talking about coding now. You got that.
I have no time to look at the chat, but
That's fine.
I bet it's interesting.
Okay. We don't need the second guess just yet. Oh, you okay? Yeah.
It was
Okay,
because
sorry. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, just rally towards the natural, both of the bases. And when link speed is done, just go ahead and make the third base. Cool. Yeah, just send one worker, that's fine. Okay, and this is also where we make that big round of Zerglings. Okay. So you got 12 incoming right now. You can add on a couple more if you want to. Cool. And then when we have the full saturation and natural, yeah, that's fine. Like, those kind of things are fine. Just make sure once you have the full saturation and natural to go for the lair. Yeah, so be a little careful getting the gases too early, because we don't want to be floating. Like, we're already floating a little bit, so I probably would, like, not saturate them yet.
Okay.
Just make sure you get the full saturation on the drones first, and then we'll go for lair, evo chambers, roach war, and all that stuff. Good. Good pullback, actually, there. Yeah, basically when you're up against those, try and lure them as far on creep as possible. And just use the queens as well. So keep on the droning, right? Keep on the droning here. Okay. Try and add on another queen as well in the other base for in the meantime. Oh, you already got one in the main. That's fine.
Lair.
Good. Lair, evo chambers, and just make drones for the gases in the natural. Very good. Now, whenever you don't have anything to do, just try and keep an eye out on the minimap, see if he's moving out. Like, I try and always have a look at that, just so you keep, like, aware of movement, and, like, see your own positioning and stuff. Okay, and just drone up the third base here, ideally. Cool, very good. So when the roach warren's done, which is right now, just add on a couple roaches. So just to let you know, like, he just finished like the first 2 liberators, which is the reason why you make the roaches right now. Like, he went for a really fast liberator play and then line up perfectly with that.
That's cool. I like how it matches everything.
Yeah. Like, you'll start noticing it more when you play the ladder. Like, you'll see, like, hey, shit, it's lining up with this as well, and then this as well. And very good. And just make sure to get the roach speed too. Okay. So once we hit full saturation is when you start making units. So before you start making units, just double check your bases. Yep. Okay, just queue up queen injects as well, by the way, that's fine. You can queue them up nowadays. Yep. And just start making non-stop roach production now. Very good. So just to give you an indication, you're currently 20 supply up on him, which is exactly where we need to be. Now, he said he was going for the same build, but I'm not seeing him, so I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. But well, like, if he doesn't move out, we'll move out when roach speed is done.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, just queue up that upgrade too, yeah. Or that queen inject too. So notice how important the queen injects become, right? Because otherwise we start floating hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay, and just make more overlords. Now, if you have like a lot of minerals, just go ahead. Oh well, here the push becomes. If you can try and take the engagement out in the open instead of like on top of the ramp, I think that would be really helpful.
Okay.
So like try and move your army down there, yeah. More service area is good. We do need a couple of... Oh, your overlords are finishing up, good.
They're building up, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, just rain the corrosive bile. You can just attack move here. And just, while this is going on, right? Keep up the macro. Very good. You can even do queen injects, yeah. And that may feel really weird, right? That's like, well, shit,
yeah,
isn't there a
it
fight?
totally does, yeah.
Yeah. And just follow him home. Just go, push.
I was scared to death by that.
Yeah, basically you want to try and get into that habit. But just take all your army and move across the map. And like with the units that are now on this side of the map, just morph those into Ravagers. Yeah, exactly. And while your reinforcements are coming in, you can probably use this time here to finish them off. Much better, actually. Okay. Yeah, so if you engage here, just move up the ramp in like one big swoop, I suppose, right? Like, yeah, exactly, like this. And just like rain the corrosive bile. Like right there on top of all of the liberators. You can probably hit them all, yeah. Well, might have to back up here though. Because those were kind of missed.
Total miss.
Yep. Yeah, just move out of the liberation zones, yeah. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, so try and aim the, like, at the little circle below him.
Yeah, I do, but it's hard.
I know. Yeah, it's being a little bit more conscious of it, I suppose.
I'll wait for 2-2 and attack again.
Yeah, wait for 2-2, yep. So be careful with your army right now, yep. It's literally called Liberation Zone, guys. I'm not even kidding. That's what the thing is called. Okay, we need some more Liberators, though. We need, or not Liberators, sorry.
Ravagers,
yeah. If you need to, just go ahead and make some more bases. Like, you can make, like, 3 more bases here and be fine, but... Yeah.
I'll start with 1. I can't manage more.
That's fine. Yeah, so like be conscious about where you're putting up the corrosive bio and just get started. Let's move. That's fine. Just go. You can hit that. Wow, this is nice of them. Okay, so corrosive bile on top of the liberators. Oh, or that works too. Cool. And keep on producing, right? Now, if you're having a lot of trouble, you can always switch into corruptors as well if you want to.
Okay.
So just put up the spire if you are, like, if you really are, you know, having weaknesses against them, that's fine too. So, like, basically while you go home real quick, yeah, just attack move here. But while you go home, try and add up a spire or something. This is fine. There we go. Yeah, just like aim at the little circle. There we go, nice.
Yeah. There are so many circles in there.
I know. Like, yeah, I know if you have like the meta effects in there as well, it can be a little tricky. Okay. So once again, right, we can try and just sit back here. Make sure though that we have like the income, or like that we spend the income here, right? Yeah. So just pull all the army back home and just push out when you have like, I don't know, 10, 15 corruptor or something.
Okay.
So just get the gases started here at the 4th. Yeah, the 4th is usually mostly for gases. So you can move some drones from the main base into that base. And the natural too. Yeah. And just make sure to start up like a whole bunch of corruptor. You can start like 10 of them as soon as they finish up. Yeah, so just focus on things like queen injects again.
Leave my overlords alone.
So if you can, try and use 2 control... Oh, whoa, push him back, yeah. Try and use 2 control groups here, ideally. So, like, use a separate hotkey group for the corruptor. So just make like 20 corruptor or so. Well, maybe not 20, but like, yeah, all those. And just head control group 2 for that. Exactly. And then we push out right when those finish up. Very nice. Yep. And just make more more roaches or something in the meantime. Okay, so let's go. So this army is very A move. That's nice. Be careful if you clump up all the corruptor like that. Yeah. But we can go.
I should probably add up some ogres here because of the mines.
Yeah. Oh well, here you go. Engagement, 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 engagement. Okay. Yeah, no, you can just actually stand. Yeah, just attack me. Okay. No GG!
No GG, man!
Oh,
yeah, now he does.
Alright. Oh, did he? Alright, alright. I was gonna say. That was good though. That was well done. Yeah, if you're like having a lot of trouble against the Liberator, feel free to add on this feel free to add on the Corruptor earlier, like the Spire.
Yeah, the Corruptor helped a lot because I'm really bad at aiming with corrosive vials at the Liberators. So yeah.
Yeah. So first is like as soon let's say like as soon as you see like 3-4 Liberators, add on Spire, Corruptor instantly. The only thing to keep in mind about that is that they're really gas hungry. Just
saturate all the gases.
Yeah, just saturate all gases. Yeah, for sure on 3 bases. But like ideally for Corruptor play you need 8 gas, so like 4 bases ish.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, like you had here at the end, you can support it. Yeah, he did GG in the end, guys. He did GG in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as you see as soon as you see multiple Liberators, just go ahead and add on a Spire. Just make sure that you are aware of the fact that they are really gas heavy, so you might consider like 4th base immediately.
Right. If I don't kill him with this, what would be a follow-up? Would it go Lurkers or just straight something like Ultras or Urlars or late game tech?
Yeah, I generally like switching into well, you can go for really anything. The nice thing is that after like +1/+1, you can go for +2/+2, and you can add on Hydra, you can add on Lurker, you can add on Infestor, you can add on like a lot of different things. I think probably that's what you will prefer having as well, is going for something like add on Corruptor into Brute Lord late game.
Right.
Because they don't require that much control and they're relatively easy to like get out as well, especially particularly if you have the Corruptor, because you can already start transitioning to them. And like Corruptors are really good as well, like just to pick out Medivacs and stuff. So in that case, like basically right now we attacked in like if you look at the attacks that we did in like waves, we had one attack wave with +1/+1, then a second attack wave with +2/+2, and then a third attack wave was basically with Corruptor, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you start up the transition towards a Hive and like a Spire after the +2/+2, so after the second one, I think we're in a good spot. So I just want to like go real quickly to that point.
Okay.
Yeah, like defensive wise, this was really well done.
Yeah, I felt so much safer than in the usual ladder matchups against Terran. So yeah.
Nice. Nice, yeah, and like if you like lettering by yourself and you're like running into a game where you're like, well shit, what do I do? Just let me know, like just give me the replay on Skype and I'll just look at it.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Because like I can imagine sometimes it's a little tricky and I can maybe help you out with that. But in general, like you should be safe against all things.
Cool. I'll try it out in the ladder.
I think he lost control of his army because he didn't expect you to be there. Like he didn't expect you to be
Yeah.
out in the open.
Game paused. Game resumed.
Yeah, he did run up with his army a little bit further north.
Game paused.
I don't know if he lost control of the army though.
Resumed.
He's controlling his army right now.
Yeah. No, he does not.
Yeah, okay, here he's trying to load the medifex up, but they accidentally run on top of the roaches. I think that fight was already won though. Either way though, like just look at the supply counts right before this engagement.
Resumed. Game paused.
And once again, right, this lines up perfectly with the point where you're starting to make units, like right when you have the full saturation and right when you start making army, and the 1/1 upgrades finishing up. Like it all lines up with the different kinds of Terran pushes. So that's the cool thing.
Yeah, perfect timing. I like that.
Yeah. So this is like basically the first attack wave where 1/1 finishes up. Now I think if you do it like nearly perfectly. Or like you practice it a couple more times maybe versus no opponent, you'll be able to win a lot of games just with this attack alone. Because this map is a little tricky because of all the ramps. Like you have a ramp there and a ramp there.
Yeah.
I think on ladder you will probably notice you should like win a lot of games right here. Now on this map, like these sort of moves are a little risky. Like moving up ramps.
Yeah,
is a little,
totally risky.
yeah, it's insane.
Just smash me with the liberators.
Yep. Yeah. And so basically then you get like the +2/+2 upgrades. So as far as like the transition towards Corruptor goes and like the Spire, you do that right about when the 2/2 finishes. I don't know the exact timing and like the perfect moment for it, but just consider like going 1/1 attack, upgrades, push out, 2/2 attack, upgrades, push out,
Paused.
Hive transition, Spire. And like you get the Infestation Pit and the Hive at the same, or the Spire at the same time.
Okay, yeah.
You actually already did that in this game as well, pretty much.
Game resumed.
So yeah, I think that would be a good transition. So yeah, attack waves would be +1 attack, +1 armor, +2 attack, +2 armor, and then you transition towards Infestation with Spire, and eventually Hive. And then you can push out with Corruptor, Roach Ravager, and eventually you can get Brute Lords. But I think most of the games will probably end with the 1/1 attack or the 2/2 attack, or like at the very least should have ended at those moments, right? But yeah.
That's the happy path, yeah.
Yeah. If you need something to practice, oh well, there you go. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, just go ahead and add them, I suppose. You're pretty much the same level, so it should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one thing I guess that's also worth checking out real quick. I don't know if you've ever like seen how strong upgrades are for roaches. Like,
yeah, that would be cool because I'm not really sure if I can push out or not.
Right, right.
When I see some Terran or Progress army.
But yeah, I'm gonna remove Powerful real quick from the game, from the party. But thanks for the help. Cool. Thank you very much, Powerful. Appreciate that, man. It always says it's so mean, man. It says like Powerful was kicked from the party. It's like, well, I didn't mean it like that.
You know, there's the failure of the engineers.
Right? Yeah, pretty much.
They should have engineered it better. Make
It's
two buttons for that.
Yeah, I guess so. But also like the general, like when you lose, it like very clearly points out you've lost the game. Right? Like it's like defeat, middle of the screen. It's all like it's all red and like all disgusting looking and like the sad music and stuff. It's not a very like great way of. I guess that's the designer thing though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, at least even the designers get some blame.
Anyway, so basically this is just a little test map type thing. I don't know if you've seen me use it before.
Yeah, I've used it.
Yeah, it's nice. And what I basically just want to do real quick is like set up a Marine Marauder army here. I will give the Marine Marauder Stimpack combat shield. And I'm just gonna like even out the amount of roaches that we need to basically deal with this. I'm just gonna go pure roach just as like you know, a little bit easier of a way to compare it. I think this will be relatively even. What I'm gonna do is just make them attack each other and like stim once. Oh, I can't stim. You get a stim, I guess.
Oh.
There we go. I will just get to an amount of roaches where it will trade relatively evenly, and then we'll add on +1/+1 upgrades, just to sort of showcase how strong that is. So we need a couple more roaches here. Here. I'm feeling 7. Yeah, so just stim once and we'll see how things go. Because I personally never really valued upgrades as much as I should have when playing Zerg. Like I just sort of like made it something that was relatively important. Why did all of a sudden happen that? Like RNG is sometimes a little strange. Okay, 5 Marine, fine. But I didn't really value upgrades as much as I should for a very long time. And like someone basically showcased something similar to me. I was like, oh shit, I really need to go ahead and like focus on that more. So I think these will trade pretty evenly.
Maybe.
Well, this is the best we're gonna get. This is the best we're gonna get. So we'll see how many roaches stay alive here. Maybe RNG was really in our favor here, but 6 roaches stayed alive. That's fine. And now all I'm gonna do is just add Glider Constitution, which is roach speed, and then +1 missile and +1 armor. I will just basically do the same fight. And you'll notice, like, at least you should notice that this like roach army now is absolutely gonna roll over this with like ease.
Yeah, they don't die at all.
Yeah, and like it's hard to say exactly what causes it. But you can notice, right? Like, just...
Yeah.
That's a massive, massive difference. And in, like, realistic terms, because these guys were just walking around a lot, even though they weren't really attacking. Obviously, in realistic games, because you have that roach speed, you can get a little bit closer and make them shoot more often. But point being, right when upgrades finished up, your roaches are going to be way stronger.
Right, yeah. Because I've only used to upgrades for quite a long time, because in Brood War they weren't that good, so... I just was skipping upgrades in all games, but I got used to it in HOTS because that's when it started to matter for me.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, so like the same is true. Basically, when you finish up 1-1, they finish generally up 1-1-2 a little bit afterwards. You could stim once, by the way.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, well, we'll just reset it real quick. But like basically right now they both have 1-1 upgrades. And it should be even out a little bit again. It should be pretty even once more. But then once, Zerg has like +2/+2 again, you're gonna be in a good advantage too. Now, actually, in this case, apparently it doesn't make that big a difference. Anyway, point being, like if you push out right when upgrades finish, there's a big chance your army will be substantially stronger than the Terran players, right? And that's true for all matchups. So try and like minimize the amount of time there is between like upgrades finishing up and you actually attacking.
Okay, so do you usually move out on the map while the upgrades are finishing, so that you arrive right when the upgrade finishes?
Yeah. Ideally you do that. It kind of depends on how macro went, because sometimes you have like 15 roaches just about to finish up, so you may as well wait for those. But if you macro perfectly and you finish up all the units right at the perfect timing, that is exactly what you want to do. You want to move out right when the upgrades finish up and go from there. But just try and be aware of that. Like, oftentimes it's hard to keep that in mind, but be aware of like how powerful upgrades can sort of make the army and like how big of a change it really makes. Yeah, I don't know if you have any more questions about it at all, or if it makes sense.
My mind is blowing, so I'll just need some time to get it all in my muscle memory and to get used to it. So yeah, thank you. I think I'll just practice a lot on the ladder right now.
yeah, no worries at all.
It's new build.
Yeah, if you have any questions about it, just let me know on Skype, and I'll try and do my best and let you know everything. Same goes for like upgrades or like for like replays and stuff. Just let me know those. All the notes I made, I'll go ahead and send those to you as well.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
I'll just go ahead and do that right now, because otherwise I'll probably forget. That's the Gmail one, right?
Yeah, the Gmail one.
Cool. Okay. Coaching notes 12 May. Cool. All right. I sent them to your inbox. Should be there in a second. But yeah, once again, just let me know on Skype if you run into something. I generally try to respond the same day, so just let me know.
Thank you.
Yeah, and someone in the chat was asking something. What was it? Oh, what do you do against siege tanks? Bring an overseer, get high ground vision, corrosive bile. It's pretty good. But
yeah, I have to improve my corrosive bile aiming and shooting because that was horrible.
Yeah, it's different though when there's someone else shouting in your ear and like there's like 400 people watching. Like different game. Anyway, man, good luck, and I'll talk to you next week, right?
Thank you. Yeah, talk to you next week. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, good luck.